5 or 6 months ago, I started performing, doing guest spots weekends at Yucks in Niagara Falls. And the very, very first night I walked in, I'm nervous as it is because it's my first weekend there. And I saw all the comics standing outside, and Bruce McCullough from Kids in the Hall was standing there with them. And I'm like the biggest Kids in the Hall fan. Like that was like my ultimate, like when I was growing up, I just loved Kids in the Hall, and especially Bruce was like my number one. And I was like, was he just walking down the street in the Falls and just happened to like stop and chat with them and whatever? No, he was there with them the whole night, like hanging out with the headliner. So I got to hang out with him in the green room.
This is the Newsload.
Hi, I'm Carrie Anne Stevenson, and we are here with Newsload. And today I am so excited to interview Keh Dee. Hi, Keh Dee. How are you?
Hey, great. You?
Great. Where are you right now?
I am at home in Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. Fabulous.
Yeah.
How's the tourism there? Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's probably not nearly as busy as it used to be, which, I mean, everything before COVID, right? And I'm in the Falls, like in the older kind of part of town, so I'm kind of away from all the hustle and bustle, but close enough to walk to it if I want. So yeah, it's best of both worlds.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Where were you born?
Port Colborne, which is just about 30 minutes south of here. So little smaller town. So I'm in the big city now. Hardly.
But like still close. You're close to your family and everything.
Yeah, exactly. My parents are still living in the same house that they bought when I was 4. So
yeah, that's wonderful. I love hearing about like solid families. Your parents are still together?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about you doing comedy?
They love it. They are super duper supportive, which is amazing because in the couple years that I've been doing it, I've talked to a lot of comics whose family, parents, brothers, sisters, everyone has never, ever seen them perform. They're like almost embarrassed, like would be embarrassed to have their parents come and see them perform. But right from the very second show, my parents were there, and they've been there through every big show, and they are my biggest supporter. I have a joke that through the pandemic, a lot of the comics and stuff, because they couldn't perform, had to resort to making other money, like going on OnlyFans. Right. And I'm not popular enough or hot enough to be on OnlyFans. So I just have an OnlyFan. It's my dad. And it's so true. So,
and
yeah,
he pays your bills?
Yeah, I wish. I pick up his tab when he comes to my shows somehow.
Oh, that's sweet. Being supportive and thanking him for the support.
Yeah, they're both great. And my mom knows to yell out like at certain times and stuff. I've got her like planted in the audience for a couple of jokes, and she knows when to respond. Yeah.
How fat are they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, do you have siblings?
I have one brother. Yeah. Yeah. And the same thing. He's come out to a lot of my shows, and he's out in Burlington. So if I'm ever out that way, he always brings his friends out. Or my niece just turned 22 yesterday, so she'll bring all her friends out and stuff. So
wow, an older brother.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
22. She's a grown-up. She can drink. She can.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
22, 19, and going on 15. So
wow.
Those my nieces and nephews. Yes. I know I look like I'm only about like 27-ish, but I'm not.
Yeah. You have a nice young face. That's great.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah.
You're a cutie pie. I saw that you played. Sorry?
I said halfway to 50 in a few weeks. If you have ADHD, that's ADHD math for 45.
Oh. I see that you play the ukulele.
I do. Yeah. I got it for my birthday about 5 or 6 years back. My mom bought them for me and my brother and my niece, and they both knew how to play, and I didn't at all. So my husband bought me lessons, and it was just fun. And then once I started comedy, I thought, you know what? I'll do a couple little parody songs, and then it just snowballed from there. And I have like 15 songs now. So
So you're married. That's another rare, thing that a comedian experiences. How is that going?
It's good. He's supportive too. But I'm like a major uh like really, really outgoing. And he is a major introvert, big time, extrovert, introvert, opposites attract, I guess.
For sure. Like
So
you're the performer and you always have an audience.
yes, yeah. So he's supportive in the way where he takes care of my three dogs when I have to go and do comedy like 4 nights a week. So he's great, and he does come out to my shows and stuff. But if a few of his sister and his parents come out and stuff like that, so he definitely doesn't come out to all my shows. But he is my biggest critic. I do run by a lot of my jokes and stuff on him, and he's very honest with me, and he's helpful for telling me, no, that's not good.
I struggle with some of the criticism. I've written a club sandwich joke, and I was told that I have to watch it because Mitch Hedberg, 30 years ago, who is dead now, has a club sandwich joke. And it's like, okay, so everybody has an airplane joke because other people have airplane jokes. We're just not allowed to talk about the same subject anymore. It's so frustrating. Right. I struggle with criticism a little because it's just like, sometimes they're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, even if he says, no, that's not good, doesn't mean I don't try it, right? Just to see, try it on the crowd. Just because he doesn't think it's not funny doesn't mean it's not funny. And a lot of times it's a joke about him that he doesn't think is funny. And the audience does.
Oh, there you go. Some people don't like to be the star, the topic of conversation. Yeah.
Some of them, though, that I've written about him, and he really likes them. And when he hears them, he's like, the cute ones, not like the ones where I'm telling all of his secrets to the audience.
So in the comedy lifestyle, I do find, especially with the boys, that sometimes they're flirty. There's a little bit of, like on the road romances and everything. How do you deter that being in a committed marriage?
Well, I think my age first of all, deters it on its own. There's a lot of, when I first started anyway, in like the Niagara community, there's a lot of young, very young comics and stuff. And I've kind of almost become the den mother of them all, like all my little kiddos, I call them. So, I did have a little bit of a joke about that when I first started, that you kind of are fresh meat, when you first come on the comedy scene, right? And like, I'm not sure which joke about my husband, like it says that I, want to take you into the bathroom after the show, but, but I find myself in the bathroom after every show, but no, not really. But a couple of the comics like literally do call me mom. Like I took one Ali Moore to a show last night, and like the whole time she's like, mom, so I don't really run into that too much. Like I said, I'm more the den mother than the milf.
Good for you. Good for you. And I noticed that you're hustling. You're doing a lot of shows. How are you keeping the balance going? Because it's exhausting. It's like having life, work, shows, balance, everything. How are you managing?
Well, a lot of ADHD meds, I'm gonna say. First of all. I'm always been high energy. I've always just wanted to fill all of my time. I manage an LCBO during the day. So that's what I do all day long. And, I sell booze and I manage people. And then I come home at night and I go and manage crowds.
Right.
And so like I said, a lot of help from my husband for sure, helping out at home with the dogs and the house stuff. And he's a wonderful cook, and he makes sure that I'm fed and my brain is fed so that I can make words when I get on stage later on. So yeah, it takes a couple people, a bit of a village,
Oh, you lucky girl. That's so good to have one that cooks. I'm jealous.
Yeah, very good cook. I like to cook. I'm a good cook too, but it's, lazy versus hungry. Lazy usually wins. And
Sure,
then a bowl of
sure.
cereal happens.
What's your go-to meal before a show that you enjoyed him making for you?
Um, hmm. Usually I like to keep it light because I don't like to go crazy before a show. So, like some just like a salad and grilled chicken, like something like that, just like I said, so that I can make my brain function to make words. And then after my shows, a lot of people know that I go to the local bar that serves until 1 in the morning. The kitchen's open till 1 in the morning, and I go get my chicken fingers and my French fries usually at like 12:30.
We're all kids at heart, eh? We still
Right?
love the chicken fingers. Popeye's chicken
Oh,
tenders are amazing. McDonald's nuggies. Just give me all the chicken and the sweet and sour sauce, and like
that's it.
so wonderful. That's good. I have to admit, I'm still in love with mashed potatoes and all
Mhm.
the stuff that you get as a kid. I have to admit, before a show, I'm usually quite nervous. I have stage fright, which, even after 23 years, I feel that it's because I care,
Mhm.
like I want to do a good show and I'm nervous because it means something to me. So I usually can't eat before a show, but afterwards, it's just like, bring on the bar food, the everything you can. Do you have a road trip snack that you enjoy grabbing?
I usually I don't do caffeine. So I usually get a giant peppermint tea because the peppermint tricks my brain into thinking that it's waking me up. And I usually grab a 20 box of Timbits. That's usually my my road snack.
Yes, the donut hole. Very,
Hmm.
very cool. Um, you had mentioned before that you work at the LCBO. Do you get free liquor?
Oh gosh, no. No, no, no. It's the government. We're lucky we get a paycheck. No, just kidding. They're they're very good to me.
Staff discount on the booze?
No, no, no. But that's okay. I'm not much of a drinker anyway.
What about staff parties?
uh well, yeah, we do get together. We actually, our last staff party, I just had someone retire a couple months ago, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna throw a party for David." It's at my show, so that guaranteed me an extra 12 audience members.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
bring the party, bring the crowd. Yeah,
yeah,
very good. Very good.
exactly.
Have you worked with any celebrities that have left you starstruck?
Well, when I was just over a year in Showtime comedy, they asked if I would open for Tim Meadows from Saturday Night Live. So that was pretty cool being like just over a year in. I couldn't even speak to him. I was just like so nervous, just like standing on the side of the wall. And he had asked the host, he's like, what's the lineup tonight? And he's like, Keh Dee's first. And then he's like, oh, Keh Dee. He's like, you're one of the comics. He's like, oh, nice to meet you. I was just like, ah. Um, and then just a few months ago, I think it was about 5 or 6 months ago, I started performing, doing guest spots weekends at Yucks in Niagara Falls. And the very, very first night I walked in, I'm nervous as it is because it's my first weekend there. And I saw all the comics standing outside, and Bruce McCullough from Kids in the Hall was standing there with them. And I am like the biggest Kids in the Hall fan. Like that was like my ultimate, like when I was growing up, I just loved Kids in the Hall. And especially Bruce was like my number one. And I was like, was he just walking down the street in the falls and just happened to like stop and chat with them and whatever? No, he was there with them the whole night, like hanging out with the headliner. So I got to hang out with him in the green room and everything like the whole night. And I said to him before I went on stage, I'm not gonna lie, I I think I'm gonna have diarrhea to have to go up and perform in front of you right now. And he was just like, you're gonna be fine. And luckily I absolutely smashed it. And he gave me a big hug after and he was like, you were hilarious. That was so good. I was like, whoo. So yeah, that was like my pinnacle, definitely so far.
For sure. Oh my God, so exciting.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's a great story. How do you deal with egos, the unprofessional boys?
Um, I don't take a lot of crap already. I think because of my age, right? Like not going into it. A lot of the comics go into it when they're very young, early 20s, maybe late teens even. So starting out when I was 42, you know, I don't need this, right? This is kind of my retirement plan, to be honest, right? So I don't have to pander to jerks, basically. So I'm really going for quality over quantity, as far as shows are concerned, and I think what I'm doing is right because I'm getting a lot of good shows coming to me and working with a lot of great people. And I haven't been shy about saying, no, I won't do that show because of, whoever was on it. And I don't want to work with that person. Right. So,
I'm finding a few boys in my London community feel that chicks aren't funny. And I'm struggling with my ego on how to. I want them to like me. I'm a people pleaser, so I want them to be my friends and I want us all to be like a club and support each other and we all hold hands and sing kumbaya or something. I don't know. But I want us all to get along, and some of us aren't. What do you recommend that I do to try and encourage them to understand that I have good intentions and not all my jokes are funny because I'm still writing and I'm still working on a new set and everything, and they're not all bangers.
yeah.
And after 23 years, I have the ones that work, so I don't want to work on those anymore because I want to work on fresh stuff. What
Yeah.
I'll ask my question again. What do you recommend that I do to get these boys to not just like me, but want to book me, have us be professional and civil to each other? What do you encourage I do?
So, just, a community, as far as like, we have a really tight knit community in Niagara. I was lucky to, be born into the Niagara comedy scene. And then, I was kind of like went into Hamilton. I didn't find it as, kumbaya, like you said. But, I fit my way into there just by, paying attention to their sets, like when they're on stage and stuff, and like really listening and giving them feedback and saying like, oh, this joke that you did, that was really awesome. And like the audience really loved it and stuff. Or in turn saying, oh, it would be a really cool tag for this joke, or whatever. Right. So just, trying to work with them. I started out in a workshop online. I didn't start out just walking on stage. I just did writing workshops for something to do during the pandemic. So I was used to kind of that back and forth camaraderie of like helping each other's, write and that kind of thing. And, a couple of my bangers, like one of my closers, I didn't even write all by myself. You know what I mean? Like one of my, he's 25-year pro headliner friend helps me. And I'm not too proud, just to say that, you know what I mean?
Everyone like Bette Midler has had writers, Dave Chappelle has writers. Like it's fine to have a team of writers and support and everything to have the bangers, for sure. I know people are like, write your own jokes and originality and da. But at the same time, community and support is good. Okay, so I have to watch their set, which sometimes is hard for me to do because I find most of them are not good.
Well, and that's why you have to watch them so that you can help them and give them the little funny tags and stuff like that. And in turn, they will, all help you.
Okay. All right.
It's all about community and just showing support. And then
the bigger man with the bigger dick, and I have to, pander to their ego and go like, this joke was good.
And I mean, if they're shit, they're shit. Don't worry about it. they'll fall off, like a bad skin tag in the end.
But they're not. They've been around for years and they're still getting work, and it's still, it's the consistency and because they show up, they get booked, kind of thing. And
yeah. And that's the thing, I'm only new, like I said, I'm only a couple of years in, and I have friends that, I've been in for 20 plus years, and it wasn't like that. Like they said back in the day, if you were good, you got booked. If you weren't, you didn't. Now we're in the kind of mindset of, everyone's a winner. If you're supportive and you show up, whether you're good or not, you're going to get that spot. And I mean, for some shows, yes, there's all, to support the community and stuff like that, and to support the people who come out and support you. Sure, throw them up for a few minutes, help them out, listen to their sets, give them their tags, help them become a better comic. Are they ever going to be that Dave Chappelle? No, but they're going to bring a few people out every time your show and stuff like that. So you do want to support them that way. But as far as, giving them a closing spot for 20 minutes when they can't hold that, I don't agree with that kind of thing, right?
No.
There's a line. There's a line between being supportive and, like you said, pandering to dicks.
Yeah. All right. How do we keep track of you? How does my audience follow you?
On Instagram, so Keh.Dee, which is Keh, last name Dee. I'm the only one on there, the only KD on there, and follow me there. And I always post my upcoming shows and my stories, and you can get discount tickets at Yuck Yucks in Niagara Falls anytime. I always post my discount code and stuff. So yeah, lots of big shows coming up at end of the month on the 28th. Comedy for Kidneys at the Greg Freewin Theater. That one's going to be a huge one, big fundraiser every year. So
yeah, I see you're hustling. I'm so happy for you. I see your name popping up everywhere. It's so lovely to finally chat. Thank you. And if you can just say one more thing, say it loud, say it proud. I love Newsload.
I love Newsload.
Thank you, Keh Dee. I hope you have an amazing day.
Yeah, you too, Carrie Anne. Nice to meet you.
Bye, honey.
See ya.
This is the Newsload.